the Bible.
In the beginning.
But Abraham.
Moses looked back at those who followed him.
For unto you is born a Savior.
Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, Sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Bible Broadcasts, vintage stories and hymns from the golden age of radio. I'm John Henderson. Join me for an in-depth look at the life of Christ as heard over the airwaves of the 20th century. Today, the story of Jesus, part 37, including the Garden of Gethsemane and Jesus brought before the Sanhedrin, Pilate, and Herod. It comes from an old-time radio broadcast based on Matthew 26-27, Mark 14-15, Luke 22-23, and John 18. And the opening Old Testament quote is from Isaiah 53. This was originally 3 separate radio shows with a lot of filler and added scenes, so I cut it down to 1 episode to simplify it and make it closer to the biblical story. But before we get to the story, open your hymnal to number 319, Only Believe, from a September 1949 broadcast.
Fear not, little flock, from the cross to the throne, from death into life, he went for his own. All power in earth, all power above, is given to him. For the flock of his love. Only believe, all things are possible. Only believe, only believe, only believe. All things are possible, only believe. Fear not, little flock, he goeth ahead, your shepherd selecteth the path you must tread. The waters of Mara is sweet and for thee. He drank all the bitter in Gethsemane. Only believe, only believe. All things are possible. Only believe, only believe, only believe. All things are possible, only believe.
And now, today's story.
Gethsemane.
He was offered because it was his own will, and he opened not his mouth. He shall be led as a sheep to the slaughter, and shall be dumb as a lamb before his shearer. All we like sheep have gone astray. Everyone hath turned aside into his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all.
And after the supper was finished, and Judas Iscariot had gone to betray his master.
What is this he says to us? A little while and you shall not see me, and again a little while and you shall see me.
And I go to the Father.
Judas stood before the elders and the priests, and Malchus, servant of the high priest, questioned him closely.
Gethsemane. Judas, he will be there, are you sure?
He often rests there. The supper will delay him. He will not go back to Bethany tonight.
And this signal, let us be clear about it.
I shall go with you. When we draw near, I shall go ahead and utter the words, Hail, Rabbi.
He may be surrounded by others. We will not know whom you mean.
Whomever I kiss, that is he. Lay hold of him. This way they will think I have returned from an errand and am greeting the Master.
Very well, Judas.
Jesus went forth with his disciples beyond the torrent of Cedron, where there was a garden into which he and his disciples entered. And the name of this garden was Gethsemane, which means oil press, because there were many olive trees there.
He is sorely troubled, Peter.
Oh, the Master has said many strange things this night, that I, who would give my life for him, will deny him, and tells us to pray that we might not be tempted.
Listen.
Remove this cup from me. Yet not what I will, but what thou willest.
He is in agony, full length on the ground.
Should we not go to him?
No. But look, he lifts his head. Look how he sweats.
And falling into an agony, Jesus prayed the more earnestly. And his sweat became as drops of blood running down upon the ground. And rising from prayer, he came to his disciples and found them sleeping from sorrow.
Simon.
Master.
Peter, what is it?
What he must think of us for falling asleep.
And they did not know what answer to make to him.
Hail, Rabbi.
Judas, dost thou betray the Son of Man with a kiss?
Seize him! Lord, shall we strike with the sword?
Peter! My ear! No, don't touch my ear.
Fool.
Dost thou not see he touches thy ear to restore it?
So it is. My ear is back in place. Enough! Bind this man!
Come, let's leave at once. They'll arrest us too.
Take him now to the high priest.
Whereupon the soldiers and attendants seized Jesus and bound him, and placing a rope around his waist, they led him from the garden called Gethsemane into Jerusalem. And it was after midnight, and the streets were quiet and deserted. And they took him into the house of Annas, father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest, who had declared it to be expedient for one man to die, that the nation might not perish. Now when the disciples fled the garden, some returned to follow Jesus, and among them was Peter, who, keeping at a distance, saw where the guards had taken the Master. And he came into the courtyard and saw that the servants had built a fire, for the night was chilly. And Peter entered the courtyard and warmed himself at the fire. And a maidservant saw him.
Do this, do that, go there, come hither. All day it's like that. Now I must be up most of the night because of this man. Move over, will you, so I can get to the fire? Art thou also one of this man's disciples?
I am not.
I saw the man when he came through the gate. He must be very dangerous. He was bound, and men on either side of him. What's the matter? Why do you look so frightened? Do you know him? Is he a friend of yours? Now, don't turn your back on me. I asked, are you one of his disciples?
I am not. I told you that before.
And so you did. No need to be so gruff with me. And how do I know you're telling me the truth? Oh, so you're leaving. He's acting very suspiciously. Best keep an eye on him. More of the elders have come. They continue to question him. Oh, I hope they finish soon. It's cold standing about doing nothing. Just waiting. You're back again? Thou also wast with Jesus the Galilean.
I do not know what thou art saying.
This man too was with him. This man also was with Jesus of Nazareth.
Woman, I do not know him.
So silence is your defense. Perhaps it's just as well, for as witness for yourself you would be false.
Make room for me.
Are they finished inside?
About.
What does he have to say?
But little. Who's that?
Oh, I'm sure he's one of Jesus' followers, but he denies it.
You. Come here. Stand in the light.
This is one of them.
Woman, a curse on you. I do not know this man you're talking about.
Surely thou also art one of them, for even thy speech betrays thee.
Thou art also a Galilean.
Did I not see thee in the garden with him?
Man, I tell you, I do not know this man.
They have finished with him for the present. They will guard him until the Sanhedrin meets.
Master.
That man's leaving.
I've no time for him. I must go with the guard.
Now the questioning at Anna's palace was preliminary in nature, for it was the rule that the Sanhedrin did not meet at night. Jesus, therefore, was at the mercy of the guards during the few hours remaining until daybreak, and they treated him as one who had already been tried and found guilty.
Rob us of our sleep, will you?
Keep us up all night, upstart.
I prophesy you will get a blow in the mouth.
Prophet!
Wait! Take this cloth and tie it over his eyes. Is it tight? Now let us see what this prophet can tell us. You with the club. Prophesy to us, O Christ. Who is it that struck thee? Tell us, prophet, who spat upon thee? Who hit thee, prophet? Who spat upon thee, prophet?
Who spat upon thee, prophet? Prophet!
Prophesy who it is that struck thee.
Who struck you?
And as soon as day broke, the elders of the people and the chief priests and scribes gathered together, and they led him away into their Sanhedrin. Observing their ancient tradition, they began the trial by examining many witnesses. Now the chief priests and all the Sanhedrin were seeking witnesses against Jesus, that they might put him to death, but they found none. For while many bore false witness against him, their evidence did not agree.
I was sitting at my place of business, changing money. Mind you, I was doing nothing wrong. I had a right to be there. I've been a money changer for many years, and my father...
Enough, we know all that. What did this man say in your presence?
I was sitting there changing money, and he began kicking over the tables. My money rolled in all directions. I tell you, I suffered a great loss. The urchins and beggars swooped down on my money like
I'm not
flies to
asking
honey
about
and...
your money or your loss. What did this man say?
Well, I was gathering my money, what was left of it, and I heard someone say to this man, "Who gives you authority to do these things?"
Yes? What was his reply?
He said, "I am able to destroy the temple of God and to rebuild it in 3 days."
Thy words do not agree with those of this other fellow.
Oh, I swear it to be the truth.
You were close to the man?
Oh, yes, sir, almost at his side.
Did you not tell us just now you were picking up your money?
Yes, but I stopped for a moment to listen to the conversation.
Silence. That will be all. Jesus of Nazareth, dost thou make no answer to things these witnesses prefer against thee? Dost thou still take refuge in silence? I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou art the Christ, the Son of God.
Art thou then the Son of God?
Yes! Art thou the Son of God?
Thou hast said it.
What?
He has blasphemed.
Aye.
What further need have we of witnesses?
None!
For we have heard it ourselves from his own mouth. Behold, now you have heard the blasphemy. Remove the prisoner.
Get along with thee.
Our business here is finished. Out of his own mouth he confessed his guilt, and you have declared judgment. Now we must take him before Pilate, in order that we may carry out the death penalty.
And Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him, was alone. And it was dark and quiet about him. And the 30 pieces of silver were heavy in his pocket.
We shall press Pilate for a quick decision, and tell him no more than is necessary.
Pilate cares nothing for our religion. If we say Jesus has blasphemed, he will scorn us, for our God is not his.
Granted. Still we shall try it.
And if that fails?
If he will not trust the impartiality of the Sanhedrin and accept its judgment, then we shall bring charges which will put the case into the procurator's court.
That is better. Present him as a dangerous political agitator who was stirring up rebellion against the authority of Rome. Pilate will have to listen then.
It matters little in which court he is tried, as long as the result is the same. My one concern is that the people may raise a clamor, especially his followers.
Have no fear. His disciples have deserted him.
He is innocent.
What brings you here, Judas? Our business is finished.
No. I have sinned in betraying innocent blood.
What is that to us? See to it yourself.
But he is innocent.
Your services were finished when we paid you the price for your kiss.
Here, take back your money.
Servants, gather the money and bring it to me.
There are 30 pieces. But, Abner, it is not lawful to put them into the treasury, seeing it is the price of blood.
Yet it would be foolish to waste it.
Have you a suggestion?
Each year, great throngs pour into the city. Many come from a great distance. Each year, a few die. The city has to provide burial.
Yes?
There is no cemetery set aside for them. Therefore, let us use this money to buy ground where they can be buried.
A good suggestion. Have you a place in mind?
In the valley of Gehenna, there is a plot of land known as Potter's Field. Years ago, there was a pottery workshop there, but it is no longer used.
I know the place. Abner, I put you in charge of the money. See to it that the field is bought for the purpose you suggest. Now I see the dawn is here. Let us go with the prisoner to Pilate.
And they hastened with Jesus to the praetorium, the place where Pilate sat on a dais and conducted the business of his office. But because this was a pagan dwelling, they did not enter, lest they be defiled, whereas they were anxious to remain clean, because the Pasch was about to begin. And they stood at the threshold and made a great clamor, so that Pilate went out to them.
What is this? Why do you come here?
Procurator, we have brought this prisoner. He is a criminal, deserving punishment.
What accusations do you bring against this man?
If he were not a criminal, we should not have handed him over to thee.
Rome has no charge against this man. Of what do you accuse him?
Of blasphemy, which he has confessed.
Then this is a religious matter. Take him yourself and judge him according to your law.
It is not lawful for us to put anyone to death.
Death? In effect, you wish Rome to permit you to execute this man, but on a charge that Rome does not recognize as meriting the death penalty. Deal with him yourself, since he is guilty of violating one of your religious laws. Now, I have other business to attend to.
Wait, Pilate. There is more.
Yes?
We found this man perverting our nation and saying that he is Christ the King.
Now you sing another tune. I will question the prisoner myself and get at the truth of this matter. Guards, bring him with you. Follow me. Step forward, prisoner. I see they have not dealt gently with you. Behold how many things they accuse thee of. Ah, your accusers seem impatient for their answer. Hast thou no answer to make? Come, you must say something in your defense. Not that I believe these crafty priests or trust them. But for some reason they ask your death, and to find the true answer I would have to meddle with their religion and their laws, and this I will not do. So, if you will speak up, we must return to them.
Show thyself!
What takes Pilate so long?
He's coming now. You've finished with your examination, Procurator?
I have.
What sayest thou?
I find no guilt in this man.
Oh, no.
Silence!
But, Procurator, he is stirring up the people, teaching throughout all Judea, and beginning from Galilee even to this place.
What? Galilee, did you say?
Yes.
Who is this man?
He is called Jesus of Nazareth.
He is then a Galilean?
Yes.
Then he should be taken to the Tetrarch of Galilee, under whose jurisdiction he falls.
Permit me to say, Procurator, the accused, if brought before the representative of Rome, should be tried before you, regardless of his place of birth.
Even so, I have the power to change the place of jurisdiction. Herod Antipas is here for the feast. Take the prisoner to him.
But, Procurator, if we do this...
Trouble me no more with this. Take him to Herod, or release him, for I find no guilt in him.
Come, let us take him to Herod. But I think we will be back here shortly.
And with much grumbling, the chief priests took Jesus to Herod. And Herod was exceedingly glad, for he had been a long time desirous to see him, because he had heard so much about him. And he was hoping to see some miracle done by him.
have here, Herod, Jesus of Nazareth, whom Pilate has sent because he declares he comes under your jurisdiction.
So? Thou art the one who called me an old fox. I've heard much of you and your miracles. Canst thou work miracles, Jesus? Why art thou silent before me?
Most excellent Herod, there is a long list of charges against him. He has blasphemed, a crime punishable by death. He has sinned against the Sabbath. He takes it upon himself to forgive sins when only God can forgive.
You have accused him before Pilate, have you not?
I?
Why did he not deal with him?
No doubt he prefers that you, as Tetrarch of Galilee, should pronounce sentence on one of your own subjects.
I would like first to see a miracle by this man. My court is waiting, Jesus. Let us see one of these works of which we've heard so much. What, does thou persist in silence?
Change us some water into wine.
Aye, here is a loaf of bread. Feed us all with it.
Miracle worker, what has happened to your power? Come. How can I judge the merit of your works unless I see them?
He deems your questions not worthy of answer.
So? Then let his silence speak against him.
Soldier, come forward.
I will send him back to Pilate. But first, array him in the garments of a fool. Now, take him back to Pilate with my compliments, and say that I appreciate his thoughtfulness in sending him to me, but that Herod bows to Rome in this matter. Take him away.
And they treated him with contempt, and mocked him, and sent him back to Pilate. And Herod and Pilate became friends that very day, whereas previously they had been at enmity with each other.
He was offered because it was his own will, and he opened not his mouth. He shall be led as a sheep to the slaughter, and shall be dumb as a lamb before the shearer. All we, like sheep, have gone astray. Everyone hath turned aside into his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all.
Thank you for listening to Bible Broadcasts. Enjoy this week's closing hymns.
They tried my Lord and Master, with no one to defend. Within the halls of Pilate, he stood without a friend. I'll be a friend to Jesus. My life for him I'll spend. I'll be a friend to Jesus until my years shall end. The the world may turn against him, I love him to the end. And while on earth I'm living, my Lord shall have a friend. I'll be a friend to Jesus. My life for him I'll spend. I'll be a friend to Jesus until my years shall end. To all who need a Savior, my friend I recommend, because he brought salvation, is why I am his friend. I'll be a friend to Jesus. My life for him I'll spend. I'll be a friend to Jesus until my years shall end. There's a garden where Jesus is waiting. There's a place that is wondrously fair, for it glows with the light of his presence. 'Tis the beautiful garden of prayer. Oh, the beautiful garden, the garden of prayer. Oh, the beautiful garden of prayer. There my Savior awaits, and he opens the gates to the beautiful garden of prayer. There's a garden where Jesus is waiting, and he bids you to come meet him there, just to bow and receive a new blessing in the beautiful garden of prayer. Oh, the beautiful garden, the garden of prayer. Oh, the beautiful garden of prayer. There my Savior awaits, and he opens the gates to the beautiful garden of prayer.
Next week on Bible Broadcasts.
You have brought before me this man, and behold, I, upon examining him in your presence, have found no guilt in this man as touching those things of which you accuse him.
His crime merits death.
No! Do not release him!
Release Jesus
No!
unto us!
Silence!
Do not release him!
Silence!
No! Do not...
One moment. I am innocent of the blood of this just man.
Take a moment to give this podcast 5 stars and share it with a friend. Thanks.
God be with